Y'all want to hear something super random? Okay, so I remember a few times, like, anyway, if you're watching TV and a girl has a boyfriend and she's like staying at his house or whatever, and she puts on one of his shirts, like a long sleeve, super long, like maybe extra large shirt or whatever, just walks around the house in her underwear with that long shirt. I always wonder, like, okay, why do women always do that? Why do girls like to wear these oversized shirts and just walk around the house like, well, like what is that? So I was very intrigued, and you know what? I tried it myself. I went to freaking where did I go? Ross, and got this extra large shirt, and I tried it. Put on nice little cute underwear, put on this big ass shirt, and whoa, the comfort, let me tell you, unmatched. Anyway, that's besides the point. So today we're gonna talk about how Landon and I met. So, okay, I talked to y'all the last video about me being a travel dentist and how amazing it is. All right, that's cool. So I ended up doing travel dentistry in 2022, or I thought I was going to do it long term. But anyway, I started it in 2022, and one of my assignments was in Joplin, Missouri. I know nothing about Joplin, knew nothing about Joplin before I said, yes, I'll go there. So ended up going there for an assignment. It was like for a month or something like that. And it was cool. The office was cool. The vibe was nice. Everybody was super friendly. And it was only a month. So I'm like, okay, cool. And as I was there, they were trying to get me to stay because they couldn't find a long-term provider. That's like most of these facilities where you're doing your assignments or whatever, they can't find a doctor to stay long-term. So they liked me enough to offer me a contract to stay. And I was like, okay, I ain't doing nothing else. So why not? So I ended up staying there full time. And yeah, ended up moving from Dallas, Texas to Joplin, Missouri. That was a huge change. Huge change. Because first of all, who lives in Joplin? Who lives in Joplin? Anyway, so I moved there and was trying to, test out the whole dating scene there. I'm like, okay, because who lives in Joplin, right? And let me tell you, nobody lives there. Okay, so I was on the dating apps, trying to find people there. I'm gay, obviously, so I'm like looking for men. Mind you, Joplin, Missouri. Missouri's in the Midwest. There are so many closeted men out here. Oh my goodness. It is wild. So many closeted men. So many men on the DL. Anyway, so oh my gosh. I'm gonna talk about that later. But yeah, so maybe it was like June or July of 2022. I also had my dating profile radius set to like the maximum distance because clearly, if there's no one in Joplin, how am I going to find anyone? So I increased the radius to be like whatever the maximum amount was, and it was on Bumble. It was on Bumble, the dating app. Um, Landon popped up on my like feed. What's it called? The queue where you like swipe left or right on people. He popped up and I looked at his profile. I was very much so a person who like actually read the profile. I didn't just like, oh, if you're not cute, bye. If you're cute, yes. I literally spent time reading your profile to make sure, like, okay, you're not a psychopath and you have a good head on your shoulders. And if you're cute, that's always a plus. So, anyway, came across his profile and I read it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's looking real nice or whatever. Then I found out he had braces. I'm like, oh, this cute. It's real cute. So I swiped whatever way to match or whatever, and I guess he had already swiped whatever way to like me, so it was a match. And how gay Bumble works is like how for like heterosexual people, if you have a match, the woman has to initiate the conversation for y'all to even like be able to chat. For the gay part of it, like you just chat. Like if you got a match, you can talk as soon as you want. Or never, which a lot of people do that too. But anyway, him and I matched, and shortly after, just like talking on the app, we switched over to what is that app where you like send the pictures, you can like caption Snapchat. Wow, okay, grandpa. So, yeah, we went over to Snapchat and started talking more. And it's crazy even going back to our like Snapchat history and seeing our old conversations. Crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, Landon and I met on Bumble. We matched on Bumble. And pretty much we were talking for maybe like 2.5 months before we met in person. So he lives in Nebraska. Was living in Missouri like full time at the time. So we plan to meet up in Denver. We plan to meet up in Denver. And for the people who don't live in Nebraska, pretty much wherever you want to go in Nebraska, like airport wise, you have to have a layover in Denver first to get there. Most of the time. Is that true? I can't remember if I had a layover to go to Lincoln or Omaha. I think there still was a layover. Anyway, so yeah, you have a layover in Denver. So Denver from Missouri and Nebraska was like the midway point, like a central location where we could meet. So we decided to meet in Denver one random weekend in maybe it was like September of 2022. And yeah, he drove to Denver, Colorado. I flew from Joplin, and he picked me up from the airport in his brand new, he had just gotten a black Lincoln at the time. And it was so nice. He picked me up at the airport, and like when you're meeting someone for the first time, like someone that you've been talking to, interested in, you have like these little jitters, but it's like magnified when you've never met them and you're meeting in a whole different state than where you thought you would. So I walked up to his car. I was like calling him like, "Oh, where you at? Like, where's your car? What's it look like?" So, yeah, we met at the airport. He picked me up outside, and I feel like when you're really open to dating or long distance dating or whatever format, um, you kind of have to be open to like stranger danger. You know what I mean? Like as kids, you ain't finna go to a different city to meet somebody. That's like a recipe for disaster. Even like, I mean, adults now, trafficking is a thing. I could have gotten kidnapped. You feel me? But I could fight, so don't get it twisty. But anyway, so yeah, stranger danger is definitely a thing, but it wasn't in that instant. So that was in that instance. So that was cool. Yeah, and it was nice. We kissed for a little bit, and that was really nice. We were chit chatting in the car on our way to our Airbnb, which the Airbnb was pretty cool. I don't even have pictures from that. Actually, I have a video. I think it's on Snapchat if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, yeah, I remember we went to Chick-fil-A. We went to Chick-fil-A. We were so tired by the time we got to Denver. Yeah, so we ordered Chick-fil-A to go and brought it back to the Airbnb, and that was like our first meal together. But it was cool. Like we weren't complete strangers because we'd been talking to each other for like roughly 2.5 months prior to meeting in person. So it wasn't super weird. Actually, it wasn't weird at all for me, at least. um, yeah, so we met in Denver. I remember we went to a comedy show while we were there. It was actually a really good time. It was a great time. And it was a great way to meet for the first time. And then the weekend trip ended. We went our separate ways. He dropped me off at the airport. He drove back to Nebraska. I flew back to Missouri. And yeah, we kind of kept things going. And we kept on talking regularly he just got kind of busy with work. I think he was also getting kind of scared, like, okay, this is getting kind of serious. And also, he was not fully out at the time. So that that was very interesting to navigate because in the gay community, listen, if you're not out or like comfortable in your own skin and you're trying to pursue someone who is comfortable in their own skin, 9 times out of 10, the person who's comfortable in their own skin is going to cut you out. Like, goodbye. Do not have time for this nonsense. I'm not in high school anymore. I'm not like this closeted guy. So, but for me, I was like, okay, I kind of want to like see what it's like if I were to give him a chance. So he actually called it off. He actually called it off and he was like, no, I'm not looking for anything serious right now. Again, because he was terrified of something real with a guy. He was still closeted at the time. So that was interesting. And I kind of don't want this video to get too long. So I'm gonna make a part 2. Bye.